do see, don't you, dear one, that this self is anything but what the Buddhist tries to destroy, this notion there's no such thing as self. It's just a mass of interrelated causes and effects, and we're just nodes in the system, not self at all. We're just subject to the environment. Where do you get moral responsibility? You don't. You're just a consequence of whatever your past is. And your future unfolds accordingly, according to what you've inherited within and what you battle with without. Neither of which do you have any control over. Not really. They claim you do because they still press moral purpose. But it's not consistent with the theory, you see. Their theory. Their theology, or their lack of it, if you like. They don't have a theo. They don't have God. Well, officially, anyway. Ah, yes. What I mean to say is this self is anything but wrong. It's the wonderfulness that God has given, part of himself, to be a separate self. You, me, those around us, separate life. And this separateness he's bringing to a perfection like himself, to be in fellowship as family. My children grown up, matured as I am grown up, you see. I don't treat them like kids anymore, because they've become like me. Why? I've made it possible as their parent. How much more God? Do you see? We are being prepared to be an adult in his wonderful family, what we call heaven, and communion with him and each other, in peace and harmony, the perfect family. And we learn here on earth what the imperfect family would be, and what the perfect family would be by contrast. This is training ground and great value, and it relies on you treasuring your individuality, yourself. Sure, it's the child at the minute, and that's very acceptable to him. You know, children are wonderfully acceptable to their parents, despite their faults. How much more then with God and his children, us? It's not that our faults puts God off us in any way. He loves us. That's what the Jesus message is. He's a loving, heavenly dad. Heavenly in the sense of all-powerful, a God of gods, if you like, whatever. And he treasures your individuality, and he's going to make of it wonderful like him. And he will succeed. Nothing can stop him. He runs the show. Every thought you have, every atom you are of in this world, all his thought. All his thought. Your very being is his thought. And in his thoughts he is bringing you to something utterly wonderful like himself. That he not be alone, but that he has a vast, infinite family, appropriate to his character, his infinite personhood. But many, you know, even in the early scripture it says, if they learn good and evil, they will become like us. And that is true. But if they enter heaven too soon, if they stay in heaven, in the paradise garden, they'll wreck it because they're not trusting God. Oh, you need to be out of the garden and learning to trust God. Learning to trust. Not know, trust. From your experience, you trust what is the case. Then you are right for heaven. when you trust in him, when you trust God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength. Why would you do that? Only because you love him. How do you come to love him? Back to square one. Whatsoever is good and lovely, think on these things. It will transform you, especially when you compare it to what is not good and lovely. My goodness, you value the good and lovely. And describe it to him. Wonderful. If you want miracles, you ascribe even the bad you're seeing to him because he's teaching you, and you trust his teaching. Wow. You are unusual. A nutter from the world's point of view, pragmatically absurd. That doesn't mean to say you embrace evil and look for it. But you do thank God that it's there, because it's there for a reason, and you trust him for the reason, and it's to compare it to good. And then you know the way you want to go, and you know what you value in him, especially when you trust that he's all good. He's only using this world to teach. And it's a very short period of time compared to eternity. An eternity of perfection in the way he knows completeness, perfection. I was going to say confection. Sweetness and joy and pleasure. Yes, well it is, but it's spiritual. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.